Everyone likes deadlifts, right? So let's deadlift 600 pounds 10 times. On the docket today, we had 605 10 by 1 with 2 minutes rest. Now, if you do the math, that means I would be doing at least 20 minutes worth of resting. And that is absolutely abhorrent. And I did not want to do that. So instead, I took a different approach and did something similar to what my coach has programmed previously, knowing, full well knowing that my coach is sandbagging my training a little bit because we are in the process of dealing or fixing my fatty liver disease, a disease, or it feels wrong calling it a disease because it's not like any sort of medicine can fix it. It's literally just you got extra fat on your liver, so get rid of it, and your liver will work better. So we have to use the Kabuki bar because we're competing on the Kabuki bar at the Ghost Clash in April 2024 in Miami, Florida, and so we want to simulate platform conditions as much as possible, and they're going to be using a Kabuki bar with kilo plates. So since there is no way to make deadlifts really that much more difficult other than trying to pull from a deficit, and that would be making it too difficult, we popped on the kilo plates onto the Kabuki, and it was actually 606 pounds. Now, while I was doing this, last week I did 625, 6 by 1. This week, 605, 10 by 1. And I was like, last week went pretty terribly. So I'm kind of worried as to how today's training is going to go. So I was a little bit nervous, but by set 4, well, let's back up a second. My warm-ups, I approached my warm-ups differently. Last week, I was like, oh, I'm just working up to singles. Let's just do singles for a warm-up. But this week, I was like, 1 plate, 10 reps. 2 plates, 8 reps. 3 plates, 6 reps. And then I went 4 plates for a single. But 4 plates was 500 pounds at that point. So that was my last warm-up. Slap on the last red with the collars because kilo plates, 4 plates is about 500 pounds. 5 plates is about 600 pounds, and the math gets wonkier the further you go. And so warm-ups were feeling stupid good. They were feeling fantastic. So going into this 10 by 1, I was like, this is going to go good. The first rep, not so good. The second rep, a little better. Third rep, better. So meaning we took a little bit too much time from our last warm-up to our first rep by hitting on all the cuties in the gym. Let's not talk about that. But so what was going on, by the 8th rep, I was like, man, I'm getting a glute pump. I have never gotten a glute pump in the gym before. Or actually, yeah, not from the gym. And deadlifts, I was like, I don't really see how it's any sort of like bodybuilding movement because it doesn't really target anything specific, and you want to have a lot of isolations in bodybuilding. So I was like, man, I know the glutes are the primary movers of this movement, but I don't really know where the glutes are tying in. But today, boys, today we got our very first glute pump. And if you remember back into your childhood, and this is a situation that did not happen to me, this is just an extreme exaggeration. There was a kid who got absolutely terrified of their very first boner, showed it to their mom and said, Mom, my wee-wee is broken. And my mom, my wee-wee should not do this. I'm scared, is my wee-wee gonna fall off? And then that's basically how I was running around the gym like, oh no, my glutes are pumped. They've never been pumped doing deadlifts before. I must have slipped a disc. And then I realized that, all those muscle mommy thick fit chicks, those IFBB pro absolute dump truck females have absolute dump trucks, and they do a lot of glute stuff. So I was like, shit, might as well do Primo, might as well do Anavar. We're fit chicks now. Bikini mode, like 42 weeks out. Let's go, boys. But I'm not gonna do a bikini show. These titties, no. My glutes, no. I don't even think that my quads are aesthetically pleasing enough to actually show up onto any sort of bodybuilding, just because I've got a lot of scar tissue lumpage going on because my body's bad at absorbing waters and oils. So in summary, deadlifts went way better than expected. Deadlifts were phenomenal. If I do say so myself, deadlifts felt good. They moved good after a couple extra warm up reps, the first couple reps, and I remember the first time that my coach programmed something like this. I was like, "Are you high? 525 for a 12x1?" And I got through it, and he was like, "Oh, look at this girl doing the same thing." And it was Hunter Henderson. Bless her soul. She is extremely attractive. Let's not talk about that. Anyway, so deadlift went good. We didn't warm down, but our mechanically similar movement today, the volumage adage, whatever, of the day was 545, 3x3, 3 minutes rest, 5 count eccentric. Now, I'm not the best at counting. I have a really expensive piece of paper that says I'm really good at numbers, but I didn't use a single number while getting that piece of paper. That's called math degrees, where you learn that numbers are flawed, and that mathematics is a cult. But did the 545. It was supposed to be a 5 count eccentric, which means you control it on the way down. And while I'm under a load, I'm like, I'm not counting shit, so I'm just gonna lower it as slow as possible. And that's what I did. Is it 5 count? No fucking clue. Do I accept it as a worthy lift? Yeah. And also, my callus is tore off, so suck my dick. And then the accessory movements we had today was a 4x5 leg press, getting maximum range of motion with a pause and making sure we have as much explosiveness as possible. And then a dumbbell bent over row. Have both dumbbells and have a slow eccentric. I may have fucked that up. I do not recall what it was actually called. And if it was supposed to be oscillating, I fucked up. But 5 count eccentric on those. And yeah, pretty much just stretching out the back, because lifting is a stretch under a load, and the heavier your loads, the bigger the loads you're able to disperse on all those dishwashers, because you eat a lot. We're not, let's just gloss over that. Anyway, so that rounds out the training week at a 1885 training total, which is approximately the total of whoever's going to win best lifter at the Ghost Clash, because the tiny little fucks decided that coefficients rule the world and not actually getting strong. It's all about how good can you water cut these days, boys. So I got nothing left. So peace be with you, and suck my dick, homies. Patty out.